Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Well of Being. Looks like we have a few people here already. Hello, Sharon. Hello, Lynn. Hello, Ames. This subject, there's so much magic that I wish to share on this. So I'm going to start with a client of mine reached out today, and his question was about, do you think that there are emotions in the higher dimensions, in the higher realms? And as I dove into this, whew, the first thing I heard is emotions are a gift to humanity. Emotions are a gift, and it makes me emotional to say that they are a powerful, powerful gift that we have been given from the higher dimensions, from the divine. And that this gift is what allows us to connect into our spirit in our human form. So, for those of you who aren't familiar with my background, for 13 years, I was deep into Chinese medicine and practiced and taught Chinese medicine and Qigong. So, one of the foundational concepts of Chinese five element theory is that the function of every single aspect of our bodies is connected with our emotions and the flow of those emotions. We cannot bypass emotion. We cannot transcend emotion. We cannot suppress emotion. Hello, Anne Marie. So, literally, the healthy flow of our emotions is connected to the function of our organs and is connected to our spiritual expression. And when we are trying to transcend or bypass or suppress our emotions, we're breaking this connection. We're creating a distortion in the connection. So, this does segue a bit into what I spoke into yesterday about being in an energetic integrity. So, underlying that is the fact that we are emotional beings, and emotion is energy in motion. So if you are not in a place of alignment with your emotions and you're in communication and connection, that creates another level of distortion. Like you're not in integrity when you're not in emotional alignment. So, thank you, Sharon. I am feeling this. This is really pouring through for you guys today. So, very, very powerful. Um, so, yeah, the barai ukai ukuru ukai ak ukuru ukai ak ukuru ukai ak ukuru uai kk ukuru oi ik uru ukai ukai ukuru ukai. So there's so many techniques that are out there that are about emotional freedom, or there's all different sorts of techniques that are out there. One of the things that I'm hearing that we need to be very conscious of is any technique that really is bypassing our full emotional expression. Like, oh, I'm feeling really overwhelmed, but if I tap here and I do something else, then I just kind of bring it down a notch and then I'm okay. Now, those techniques have their place and purpose because, of course, like if you're in the middle of like a classroom or something, or whether you're a teacher or a student and you're having intense emotions, like I can't be fully with this in this moment. And the technique may help you to embody it until you can get to a place in time where you can fully tap into your expression. So that's super important of being aware that though those techniques have their place and purpose, that the real message here is that you have to do the inner work and have a practice of allowing yourself to fully express your emotions. So what does that mean? That doesn't mean, a lot of times, like we were talking about yesterday, like if you get triggered, you're going to feel intense emotion. Does that mean you explode it out at the person who is triggering you? No, that's not what I am suggesting. However, kind of like what I was just talking about being in the classroom, when you are triggered, you're in the classroom of life and you're like, okay, I'm feeling this emotion. I'm going to figure out whether it's through that beautiful message from Mother Mary yesterday or other techniques to help me be present with this. But I'm very conscious and aware, and I'm going to do the inner work later to tap into that, to fully recognize. Sorry, a lot of light language wants to come through. I'm going to try to finish these words. Where this is coming from, and allow myself to fully express the emotion as a practice at home to allow myself to flow. So I think the key in that message before the light language wants to pour through is that those techniques cannot are not tools that are helping you to deal with the root of the emotion. And deal isn't even the right word. The emotion is good, the emotion is healthy. They're not allowing you to feel and flow with the full emotion. Seke okoro okai e ke okoro okai okoro okai e. Sekai okoro okai okai okoro okai e ke okoro okai e. So the divine wants me to share with you that this morning I got when I woke up there was a thunderstorm here. So when we look at the way nature expresses herself, she has so many ways. She doesn't hold back. She doesn't care if we've got plans to be outside. If she wants to be windy, she's going to be windy. If she wants to have a tornado, she's going to have a tornado, thunderstorms, lightning. So these expressions of nature, it just helps us to see this reflection of the way Earth, where we live, is handling energy. Like, why is she doing that? There's something in her internal energy that she's trying to establish a new place of balancing harmony, balance, and alignment. And through that flow, through that expression, through that shift in the energy and the expression of energy, she creates that new level of flow. So it can look all the different ways you can think that Earth does, earthquakes and well, even what we're in right now with the eclipse, the eclipse portal that we're in. De ko oro ukai e ke okoro ukai e. So the ke okoro ukai e ke okoro o. Thank you, Fatima. Ai ke okukuko rute ko okoro ai ke okoro o ai. Ai ke okoro ukai e kai okoro o ai e. Okay. Ai okoro ukai e. So one of the emotions that really is challenging for humans for so many different reasons is the emotion of anger. Ai ke okoro ukai e. And many of us, for so many different reasons, we were never modeled or shown a healthy way to connect in with our anger, whether it was someone who was exploding it out and projecting it on you in all different ways that can happen. Fatima has mentioned narcissists. So anyone who has a connection with a narcissist knows this very well. Te uru utake okuru o. Or it was someone who's like, oh no, you're not allowed to express that. That's too much. You're not allowed to express that. So one of the things I'm saying to share as well, I mean, I spoke about nature, but another thing for any of you who have children or just to witness children, you know that children are just, they're fully expressive in their emotions. We all at some point just naturally knew how to move through all the phases of our emotions and not get stuck in them. So when you think about a child having a tantrum, something gets them pissed off. So they get angry. And then they start crying. And then all of a sudden it's like, they've moved right along and they forget that even happened. So that is one of the techniques that I used to teach over the 13 years that I was practicing and training in Chinese medicine is how to have a practice of allowing yourself to have a tantrum because you're tapping into the flow of the emotions. So this is key because we're not always going to be totally tuned in to like, wow, I'm feeling angry, or you may disconnect and disassociate from a trigger that you had and not remember it. But having a way of being able to, in a healthy manner, express the emotional flow is super supportive because what will happen is as it's flowing, anything that needed to be released, it just pulls it out, it clears it out. So the concept, and I'll put connections in the comments and such later, links for you to be able to learn more about this concept. But the idea is that when you intentionally allow yourself to express your anger, it is very important. So what is anger? Anger is the energy of right now, of springtime, of everything that wants to break through, of everything that wants to be seen, of everything that wants to grow. So that is one piece to remember, that anytime you're having a strong emotion, it is some aspect of you that wishes to be seen. So as we speak into anger and allowing yourself to express anger, anger is not something that you can talk your way around. Anger is not something that you can bypass. Anger is not something that you can try to do all these things, but what is going to happen in you is it will come out at another time in an unintentional way. Like you'll be triggered and then you won't be able to hold it back because it's like a volcano. So a healthy volcano, like we all have this energy that's like a healthy volcano that wants to create new life, like in the Hawaiian Islands. But when we suppress it and we put a cap on it and we push it down and we don't allow the natural expression of it, then it will have to explode out in these other ways. And if it's not exploding out emotionally to other people, like a narcissist might, it might be exploding into your body and creating all different levels of block, pain, stagnation. And I will put a link also to allow you to dive deeper into what organ systems are impacted and how you can support that. But the root of it still is about allowing the emotion to move. So with anger, it is your voice that really wants to be one of the Aikuru okae, movement, movement, movement. Just like right now when the spring wind is moving the trees. It's another technique that I used to use. So it's movement, movement of the body, movement of the voice is one of the very powerful ways that anger, frustration, tension energy, stress energy wishes to be released. I'm going to try to shift my camera. Any of you who have practiced Qigong with me or been a patient at another time know about shaking the tree. So the whole concept of shaking the tree, so knowing that trees are the element of wood, they absolutely vibrate the essence of this healthy, energetic flow. And a tree knows that like if it is rigid, when the wind comes through, what's going to happen? It's going to get uprooted. It's going to break. So it knows how to move with the wind. So in this practice, we're going to mimic moving like a tree as a way to physically move the energy of anger, frustration, and tension up and out of the body. So again, I apologize. I won't be able to show myself perfectly, but the idea is that you're squatting down and feeling it like you're coming up from the earth and you're moving. And I want you after this to do that again and again and again. That's called shaking the tree, of really moving that energy up and out. And at the same time, allowing the voice to come out. So all these different ways that you can allow expression to come out and come through. Another way that I used to teach back in the day is throwing eggs at trees. So the energy of actually taking something and allowing it to, and at the same time, your voice, ha! And I actually have a really cute video of my daughter a few years ago doing that with me. The next thing I want to do, again, I'll have to adjust the camera, and this has been something that has come in more recently for me. When I am feeling a lot of intensity, I sometimes like to drum. So I have a drum right here, and to allow my voice to come through. So I'm very blessed that I have this other space where I don't live with my 4 kids. So sometimes I'll come over here, even in the middle of the night, if suddenly something wants to be expressed and come out. That's some of the videos you guys have received on Sekhmet, or in the middle of the night over here. So when that energy wants to be fully expressed, it's wonderful to have a safe place to do that. So if you don't have the luxury of another space where there aren't people you might disturb, your car is an awesome place. Screaming into a pillow, water. There's lots of different ways that you can allow. But really, again, I can't say enough of how important it is for expression. So this is going to be a bit of a light language. Totally Sekhmet. Yeah, she loves this stuff. I can feel her energy. Te okuro okai e ke oro o ai e oro o e ke ai kuro tuko ai okoro o ai e ke okoro oko ai e ke okoro okai o e ke oro tatia kokoro o ai kokoro okai okoro ai e ke o ate a te kai o rutuko o ai. Tiki kokorutoko I e. I o koro I o koro I o koro I o kai o tiki I o koro o I e. Okay. So I could keep going with that forever, but I'm also seeing, as I was channeling and feeling into Sekhmet's energy, she's just like, guys, come on. You know this wants to come through. So as we allow ourselves to move with this energy and flow with this energy, the energy of anger is the energy of our creativity. It is the anger of expression. So as I mentioned in the beginning, emotions are about our spirit's ability to express itself, and all of them have to be expressed. So if there's any one of them that we are suppressing, then we are blocking the flow of expression. So part of the concept of, when we want to put a mask on, everything's fine. Everything's fine. But underneath it all, we're literally, we're like dying because all of this emotion that is stuck within our body. So the concept of tears as well, and crying and allowing the tears to flow. I don't know if any of you guys watched One Day on Netflix, the series. I watched it with my 18-year-old, and we got to the end, not yesterday, but the day before. And I mean, we were ugly crying. Like, it was like, I made noises I haven't heard before. Sorry for those of you who, little spoiler alert. Yeah, but that was good. Like, there was something as that was happening. And I mean, there was nothing we could do. It was just going to flow. Even thinking about it makes me want to cry again. But, allowing the emotion of tears to come out. Again, it doesn't have to be like, well, I need to really dive into this deep traumatic memory that I have grief about. Then that's going to powerfully help me to release. The truth is, even though, like, yes, this was a show and it was evoking sadness and it was evoking grief, what happens is all the little energetic tendrils that might have been stuck with other grief that I was having, it just allows it to come out and be released and be expressed. So tears are especially powerful. Again, this is something from my Chinese medicine days that I learned from my teacher, that when we produce tears, we're literally taking energy and alchemizing it into matter. And then we're releasing it from our body. So when you do allow yourself to drop into crying, it is important to allow yourself to evoke tears. Now, if you haven't done it before, the deeper you go, they will come. They will come. Again, if these emotions have been blocked for a long time, it may take some time for the flow to begin again. Now, I've been like really openly expressing since like 2007. So, so you may not be quite where I'm at yet. So don't feel overwhelmed or like, like you start with where you're at. So whether it's with the expression of anger, and it's just like, for you, it may just be like, just, it can be all different kinds of subtle things. I'm just hearing to drop into, there was a little more subtle practice that I learned many years ago, that I tried this with a client the other day, where you close your eyes and you take a deep breath in, and you just feel into anywhere where you feel a little bit of something, a little bit of pain, a little bit of tension. It might be an emotion you recognize, but most of the time it is frustration or anger or stress in some way that is stuck inside. So as you feel into that, when you breathe out, you allow yourself to vocalize whatever that frequency feels like in you. Again, no rules. It could be all different levels of volume. It could be all different kinds of sounds. So I'll demonstrate so that you can get a feeling for this one. So taking a deep breath in. There are so many different noises that want to come out of you people. You know it. You know it. Another thing that I just saw is, people who who may have what we call a mental handicap and are uninhibited from the expression, you hear all different kinds of noises coming out of these people. Is it because of their handicap, or is it because they're uninhibited and they actually don't stop themselves from expressing? I mean, the same goes with young children. We make, they make all different kinds of noises. So this is a very powerful practice. I know I only did it once. The same thing with the shaking the tree, at least 3 to 4 times with any of these things. And with the Taoist emotional cleansing, again, I'll send you a link that kind of goes into it, but you want to give yourself a couple of minutes for each of the phases. The anger, allowing the voice to come out, and the tears, and then at the end you have a dance party. So I often use music to support me through that. So emotional energy in motion, allowing this energy to flow and recognizing that the gifts of this flow are infinite, because again, every single organ in your body is impacted by emotions. And it isn't in a negative way. Like I'm just thinking of all of them. But anyway, it isn't in a negative way, these associations. It's a negative thing when they're stuck. It's a negative thing when they're blocked. And it's a negative thing when you're not connecting into those emotions. So they need to be felt and they need to flow. They need to be felt and they need to flow. Okay, and the other piece that I wish to share is, of course, in connection and in relationship, because when we are doing the inner work to keep our emotions in a state of flow, then when we are face to face with someone else in interpersonal relationship, then we're really meeting them as the full, aligned, energetic, spiritual expression of who we are. So, we are able to come from a place of clarity and not from a place of blocked emotion that is trying to find a way out. So when we get triggered and when we may act out in different ways, it's really therapeutic, because it's like we didn't know how else to do this, and we created this situation, and now this situation let that emotion out. Oh, hey, I feel better, but it really sucks because now I had to deal with all the repercussions of what just happened. So again, that is why these practices are so supportive, to help with the flow in the body, to help with the flow in your life, and to help you to tap into your creativity. So the creativity to support your own healing, the creativity to see ingenious ways for how to handle your life situations, the creativity that allows you to make incredible leaps in your spiritual expansion. You guys have left some beautiful comments. I love this level of engagement with everybody. Yes, yes, yes. So, yeah, and another thing that I noticed that is interesting is that the more I allow emotions to flow, the more they flow. And I'll find that, like, for me, one of the things that I've noticed is like anything, and also because I'm sensitive, like I will feel so much like around my children, like things for my children. I went to my daughter's choir concert. She's a senior and she never did choir, and she has an amazing voice. And I was like, Ave Maria had me in tears. And they were happy tears, but I was like, oh my God. And it feels so good. It feels so good to feel like that is part of why we're here, people. We are here to feel. We're here to connect. There's something you can feel, that aliveness when the emotions they just bring another level of flow and connection to whatever it is you're experiencing. So yeah, and even joy, like even joy is something that, I mean, in my life, I was told to like cap that down. I'm like, you know what? Life is fun, man. Sometimes I want to be a goofball. So just allowing yourself to play with all the expression of all the different emotions. And the most important thing is there's no hierarchy. Like joy isn't up here like, oh my God, this is the one, this is the one. No, all of them need to be felt, need to be expressed, need equal attention. And that is what creates the full, integrated, aligned, harmonious human experience. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. I look forward to moving through these comments later. My consciousness can't connect to them right now, but so grateful for you all being here. And Again, as I say every session, if there's anything that gets sparked by you tuning into this that you would love to hear more about, let me know, because I'm going to keep coming live all the way until April 6th. Have a beautiful day, everyone. Bye-bye.